Hello everyone, Earl Henderson, Primordial Defense. Thank you for watching. I have another Monday quarterback video for you. I'm going to play this video and talk about things that are going on to better explain what's going on and talk about things that I think that are being done right and are done wrong. Here we go.
Hello, I'm Sergeant Efrain Cornejo. As part of the Milwaukee Police Department's continuous commitment to be transparent with our community, we created community briefings to provide information to the public regarding officer-involved critical incidents. Community briefings are intended to provide relevant information which may include video footage, audio recordings, photographs, and other evidence. It is our priority to release this information.
Bureau. In this community briefing, I'm going to share with you information regarding circumstances surrounding the officer-involved shooting that occurred in the 100 block of East Juneau Avenue on the evening of Friday, September 2nd, 2022. On this date, at approximately 10:50 p.m. in the area of 22nd and West National Avenue, officers from the Milwaukee Police Department observed a suspect wanted in connection to a homicide and other violent felony offenses.
Okay, so I'll pause this, that way you can read it, because they kind of made it go through really quick on this. So this guy, he is wanted for the murder of his ex-girlfriend, Nikia Rogers. I think that's how you pronounce her first name. First name is spelled Nikia. She was found in his burned out Nash Park home on August 25th. This guy has other charges as well. He is a habitual offender. He's a persistent felony offender, basically. So it's sadly another case of the criminal justice system failing, letting violent offenders out when they should not be letting them out. They should be staying locked up as long as possible. I don't know if he was out on probation or parole when this incident occurred, but I would not be surprised if that was the case. I would not be surprised if the last thing that he was in prison for could have been something that could have resulted in a long confinement, but he did not do that maximum sentence and instead did a shorter sentence. Would not be surprised to find out that he was able to take some sort of classes while in prison and have time shaved off his sentence, etc. Or worked out some kind of plea deal where instead of him doing the max amount of time, he did, a lower amount of time. Like I said, would not be surprised if one of those was the case, because it seems to be a recurring thing within this country. Multiple of these violent offenders do not do the full sentence. They get out early, and then of course they go on to continue to victimize more people. They're vicious animals. Realistically, they're vicious people. They're no different than a vicious dog. You can't take the viciousness out of a person. I mean, I don't care what kind of rehabilitative fucking program you think exists that can do it. It just don't fucking happen. So, if that's the case, then I would say that the state probably failed and is responsible for that woman's death.
Uniformed officers in marked police vehicles activated their light bars and sirens and attempted to conduct a traffic stop, at which time the suspect fled in a vehicle that was reported stolen. Officers initiated a vehicle pursuit and began broadcasting. The pursuit lasted approximately 25 minutes, involved several police districts, and reached speeds of 100 miles per hour. The following is a portion of the dash cam video.
Blue Chevy truck, going for homicide. Horsepower 2024.
We're gonna get in this. Hang on.
Alright, we're gonna be coming up to 27. We got a red light at 27. 2488, we're secondary. Get westbound National, coming up to Lake Boulevard. I think it's gonna go north of Lake Boulevard to National. Get ready.
Yeah, second column, still north of Antonio. Chevy. These are 100. Traffic medic.
The pursuit went as far north as West Good Hope Road. The suspect proceeded to flee eastbound, at which time another jurisdiction, notified of the pursuit, deployed a tire deflation device, disabling the suspect's vehicle but not stopping it.
Good hit on the stop sticks, passing Green Bay now. Speeds are 87. Light traffic. Chevy truck went for homicide.
The suspect then entered the freeway ramp and continued southbound on I-43 in his disabled vehicle.
Lakefront. Blue Chevy pickup went for homicide. Speeds are 57. No traffic. He's got 3 flats. The only one that's not flat's the back rear, it looks like. I think.
The suspect then exited the freeway on Plankinton Avenue and drove the disabled vehicle in the direction of the downtown entertainment district.
Blue Chevy pickup, driver wanted for homicide. We're at 50 miles an hour on the off ramp. He's gonna just lost some more tire. Nope, still going. Exiting Lincoln. Why do you keep getting stepped on? Dude, we're going right into fucking code red. Oh, it's a homicide. Let him know.
The suspect then went west on East Juneau Avenue, directly towards South Water Street, and broke through several barricades put in place by the Milwaukee Police Department in accordance with the weekly responsible entertainment deployment to ensure both public and traffic safety in the heart of the downtown entertainment district. The vehicle then came to an abrupt stop in the 100 block of East Juneau Avenue amidst large groups of people patronizing the many local establishments in the area. Numerous uniformed officers assigned to the deployment to ensure public safety were also present. The suspect then exited the vehicle armed with a semi-automatic firearm, which he pointed and discharged in the direction of officers. Several officers then discharged their service weapons, striking the suspect, causing his death.
West on Juneau, coming up on a red light at Broadway.
So throughout this chase, they had mentioned multiple times while talking on the radio, wanted for a homicide. I suspect the reason why they kept saying that on the radio was to make sure that some supervisor didn't try to terminate the pursuit. That's an unfortunate thing in some places across the U.S. Some agencies have some pretty restrictive no pursuit policies in place where pretty much the only thing police can pursue for is something like that. Person wanted for homicide, someone who's tried to commit a homicide, etc. If it's something like someone ran a stoplight and police try to pull them over and they don't stop, there's some places where a supervisor will get on the radio and tell those officers to turn their emergency equipment off and stop the pursuit. So I just thought it was odd that they said it multiple times, blue Chevy truck wanted for homicide, and the only reason I can think of that they're saying it like that multiple times is to make sure that some supervisor doesn't get on there and try to, say, terminate pursuit, blah, 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 whatever. Anyway, so now he's getting down into the downtown entertainment district. So some municipalities, their downtown area, they have them called downtown entertainment districts. Basically, it's the bar scene, all the bars and nightclubs where all the drunks go out to. In some places, they will cordon off these certain areas. They'll block off roadways or whatever. That way there's not a whole lot of vehicle traffic going through, etc. And some places there's additional officers who are posted within those places because they have such large crowds that come out. And he's about to drive into this area.
He's going through. Just hit the barrier. The spot. Watch out. He's going through the barrier. Watch out. He's going through. There's a large crowd. Dude, are we going? I canceled. I don't hear nothing.
Alright, so they got multiple camera views up at this point, which I hate when they do that, but just pay attention to the main screen right now. Just pay attention to this one.
We got shots fired. Shots fired.
Officers then approach the suspect.
Alright, so we'll back that up. Alright. So now, let's pay attention to this right screen right here, because this one ends up ending kind of early. So this, I think, is cell phone footage taken of what's going on.
I canceled. I don't hear nothing.
Yeah, so it says civilian video. Alright, so that one ends pretty early. So you just basically see him get out of the truck and go to the front of the vehicle. Alright, back this up. And now we will pay attention to the left screen.
Just hit the barrier. Watch out. He's going through the barrier. Watch out. He's going through.
Alright, so these are officers who are already in the downtown area. Like, they're assigned to this because of all the large crowds. So they're just there as normal.
There's a large crowd. Dude, are we going? I canceled. I don't hear nothing.
Suspect vehicles driving by.
We got shots fired. Shots fired.
Officers then approach the suspect.
Alright, so we'll back this up again. See what's crack-a-lackin'. Alright, so let's go back to the main screen here. Main screen. Alright, now, I don't know why he stopped. I don't know if he just decided, fuck it, this is where it's going to end, or if the vehicle just was not capable of going forward anymore. I don't know. But for whatever reason, the vehicle comes to stop, and he dismounts and starts shooting at the police. You can see some what maybe is the mirror being chipped off from the vehicle, possibly. I don't know, or it could be glass falling out. I think that's part of the mirror that comes off. I don't know. But the police end up firing like 76 rounds at this guy. I don't know how many times he was shot. Obviously, he was not shot 76 times. But they fired 76 rounds at him. You can see him. So he starts on this side. He moves this away. And it looks like he either shoots out this way, or he maybe is thinking about going this way. I don't know for sure what's going through his head. But he pops out there. And he's over here. And then he goes down. Now, you'll notice in the view right here that the camera, dash cam, kind of makes a move. That's because another officer pulls in and basically crashes into the fucking car. So you can see that on the top left corner right here, there's just one creeper right there. Right? There's no one behind it. And then boom, now there's a cruiser there. So they came in hot and fucking smacked into this cop car. Now, you can kind of see him right in there and see him here as well. And shots are still being fired. You see him. It looks like he is potentially aiming down and under the vehicle, potentially. I don't know if from this angle he can even see the guy, but he's still shooting. So I don't know if this guy is still shooting back or not. He ends up firing 18 rounds at the police.
We got shots fired.
All right, back this up some more. Well, all right. So you see this officer over here in this top left screen. He takes cover down behind his door and in a kneeling position. Excuse me. Car doors. Excuse me. Car doors do not offer protection from guns. They suck. A .22 long rifle, a small ass bullet, will go right through a fucking door panel. No problem whatsoever. So, he is not behind cover. He's somewhat behind concealment, maybe. But that is not cover. That is not where you want to be at. So, he's lucky that the bad guy didn't put rounds through that door, or else it would have hit him. The better place to be would be go to the rear of the vehicle and then fire from around the side that way. When you go to the rear of the vehicle, you're putting more material between you and the threat. So in this physical location here, if he went to the rear of the vehicle, he would have, number one, the engine block itself stopping rounds. No round is going to go through the engine block. But even if a round went through the windshield, he's potentially going to have the headrest, the cage, maybe the headrest and seat of the back, another cage in the back right here, partitioning off the back cargo space area and the rear windshield itself. So that's a lot of material for a round to try and make it through, even if it doesn't go through the or doesn't stop in the engine block area. Now, the door, like I said, it's going to go straight fucking through it, no problem whatsoever. So, bad positioning on his part. This officer here is using the tree for some amount of cover. A tree is a whole lot better than a car door. This tree is going to stop bullets pretty well. So he does eventually move away from the car door and starts to go this way. But then steps back out into the open. Alright, and then most of the view is blocked from this tree. So we'll back it up a few seconds and we'll watch the main screen over here. So I like how he, like I said, it looks like to me he bends down or he kneels down and he's potentially firing maybe under the vehicle. I don't know. I don't think that angle works because from here I don't think that he's able to look around this right here and see the guy. I think he's firing under the vehicle to the guy. Now that officer who's standing out in the open, I think he is shooting, or this guy is shooting from their angle. I think they can definitely see the guy from around the side of the truck right there, and I think that they are shooting at him. So if this guy was in fact shooting under the vehicle, that is a tactic that that has been used and it is effective, but I don't think it's one that is seen as a go-to very quickly. A famous case where shooting under the car has been used was the North Hollywood bank robbery, when SWAT finally got one of the guys cornered. They got up to the vehicle that he was trying to steal and take off with. He got behind it, started shooting at them. One of those officers dropped down, aimed under the vehicle, saw his feet, and shot his feet. And that dropped him down to the ground, and then they plugged him some more. Shooting from, I guess you could say, unorthodox shooting positions is something that I don't think a lot of places or a lot of people train and practice for. So your traditional shooting stance is standing up, right? Usually doing a variation of a Weaver or an isosceles stance. That's how the bulk of almost all firearms training is conducted. I think that you should be spending a lot more time as well in other positions. Shooting from your back, from a supine position, shooting from a prone position, shooting from a fetal position, kneeling positions, and shooting around and under barriers.
Officers then approached the suspect, cleared his vehicle, and secured the suspect's firearm located next to his body, while a supervisor requested medical attention. Several officers then attempted life-saving measures, but were unsuccessful.
Keep your eyes on the car! Clear the car! Get some medical. Gloves! I need a lot more gloves. I got a lot more gloves right here. I need you guys to grab more with you. Watch out. Watch out, watch out, watch out! Yeah, it's behind me. We're good. Watch out, watch out! Yeah, it's behind me. We're good.
Alright, so he is saying gloves, gloves, gloves. Who's got gloves? Everyone should have on a pair of gloves. Unfortunately, there's sometimes we're come across some of these videos and no one seems to have a pair of gloves. If you're going to be working in this kind of profession, whether you're police or security, you need to have gloves on you. You need to have a pair of gloves. You never know when you're going to come across someone who's got bodily fluids all over them. Never know when you're going to have to touch something that could be evidence. You don't want to put your prints and stuff on it. But most importantly, the bodily fluid aspect. You have to assume that somebody has something, some type of communicable disease that you do not want. You do not want to take it back home with you. You have to assume that they have the worst of the worst. And you need to protect yourself with gloves. Gloves are known as BSI, body substance isolation, PPE, personal protective equipment. You put those gloves on to keep the blood off of you. That's especially important for your hands. If you have any cuts on your hands or anything like that, and you get that bodily fluid on you, well, that's a way for their disease to get into your body. You could have slide bite from shooting your gun. Your slide could have hit the web of between your thumb and your forefinger and caused a little nick right there. It happens to me sometimes. You get that little nick right there, that little cut in the skin, and then you go touch someone, you get blood, their blood over that cut. You can now have that disease that they have. You could bang your hand up against something during the middle of the fight and not know about it, and then you got a cut on your hand. So you got to wear gloves. You got to have gloves on you. It's super easy to have gloves on you. There's really no reason, no good valid excuse why you should not have at least a pair of gloves on you. These guys are taking their time to put gloves on. You see them standing around doing it. No one's touching them without putting gloves on. That's good. This guy, he brought this shit upon himself. He shot at them. He can sit there and bleed out while people take their time to put their gloves on. And that's exactly what I recommend too. Take your time to put your gloves on. Get them on, especially if you only got one pair on you. If you try to rush and put those gloves on and you rip them, guess what? You don't have any gloves now. So take your time, put the gloves on. If that person who tried to kill you is bleeding out during this process, oh fucking well. That's their problem. Get your gloves on, make sure that you don't rip them or break them or anything, and then you can start rendering aid at that point.
Watch out! Watch out! Yeah, it's behind me. We're good.
It should be noted that a citizen in the immediate vicinity sustained a non-life-threatening gunshot injury during the incident. She was initially treated on scene and later transported to a local area hospital for additional treatment.
That's fine. That's okay. We don't care about that.
Where is she injured? Yeah.
She got shot in the arm, elbow. It's broken. We're waiting on the ambulance right now. We're checking for secondary wounds. Nothing's found yet.
No department personnel were physically injured as a result of gunfire during this incident. This investigation is still ongoing and is being led by the Milwaukee Area Investigative Team with the Oak Creek Police Department as the lead agency. As with all police shooting incidents, the officers involved were placed on administrative duty pending the outcome of the investigation.
All right. So that's it. Nothing else to talk about. If you like what you hear and see, go ahead and give me a like and a share. If you have not already, hit the subscribe button and stay tuned for more Monday quarterback videos. Earl Henderson, Primordial Defense, thank you for watching.